Chapter 3: Systemic Actualization. We do not have to look far in human history to identify systems of meaning, value, and practice that we disagree with in the immediate present. The same may be said for future moments beyond this one. Those inhabiting human time experience within the not-too-distant future will look back on our present trajectory with disbelief as they examine the moments leading us to crisis. The single truth ensures us that we may only ever be here now. Our journey toward individual actualization represents the tension between the circumstances we inherit, defining our access and agency within the moment, and the latent power within us that yearns to be unleashed onto the universe. Our creation of new systems of meaning and value, in alignment with the single truth and the relational universe, lays the foundation for reimagining how expansive our humanity may become. Systemic actualization represents the second component of self-actualization in the age of crisis, the organization of society and system to maximize individual access and agency. We seek to develop a world of imaginative experimentalism where each possesses the access and agency necessary to redirect their focus and energy toward creation. Systemic actualization recognizes that the systems defining societies are inseparable from our moral and material endeavors. They are one and the same, representing a vital aspect of the transcendent spiritual philosophy necessary to overcome the crisis. Our inhabiting a relational universe composed of information ensures that being is a process of persistent programming. Although the individual can self-program, much of this influence is external. The circumstances and systems surrounding the individual define the scope of their belief and action within the moment. Earlier, we explored the crisis of the billionaire god-king, and how the frameworks of organization we presently inhabit are only slight evolutions of traditional monarchies, legal, political, and economic technologies that reinforce specific ways of being. We live in an extractive environment that prioritizes the benefit of an extreme few over the vast majority, a global society of insiders and outsiders, prioritizing birth lottery as the determining factor of access and agency within the world. Now we inhabit an immediate present where we possess the technology and talent to break free of the stranglehold of the past, but lack the vision necessary to embrace such transformation. Systemic actualization as a means of individual and collective wholeness provides us with an alternative. Systemic actualization is rooted in several core principles that guide the development and deployment of our efforts toward reimagining the systems surrounding us in alignment with the single truth. The root of this is that each must possess the ability to transform without relying on consensus from other systems or groups. This allows for stakeholder-driven social verticals that can evolve to meet their specific opportunities and challenges. Self-changing systems disempower the idea that our creations exist beyond change, that they are in any way, shape, or form necessary or natural in their existence. This type of embedded experimentalism blurs the line between the standard progression of systems that reinforce specific experiences and their reimagination to meet the needs of the moment. Systemic actualization develops a culture of progress where no aspect of the institutional or ideological frameworks guiding us exists beyond our power to challenge and change them. We fully embrace that the rules and institutions we create do not deserve our loyalty. It is a philosophy that reinforces solidarity with the other in our social life by recognizing that money is a social glue. Self-actualization in the age of crisis demands an approach toward system development that reinforces our responsibility to care for others in alignment with the relational universe. Our journey toward merging individual and system as a single self takes on a spiritual context unavailable to us within the present religious context. We seek to develop the individual possessing the access and agency necessary to sustain ways of life in alignment with the single truth. To do that, we must expand the experimental powers of each through the development of systemic rights. The crisis inhabits a variety of forms that resist this, and our present institutional arrangements reinforce this resistance. Our journey toward transcendent being is both incremental and individual, as well as a global movement by and for the collective. The era of definitive blueprints of social organization with static boundaries gives way to permanent experimentalism that can only take form within reimagined systems of meaning and value in alignment with the single truth. We cannot develop systemic actualization without a transcendent philosophy of human spirituality, because the presently available options only serve to reinforce what is. Embracing systemic actualization requires individuals and the other to share a bond of equity and relation, a uniting philosophy rooted in love that overtakes the ethos of transaction as the primary social glue. Our core values call on us to reject the systemic arrangements that dehumanize us. We trade everything that has been for everything that will be. Self-actualization in the age of crisis is an emergent phenomenon born of choice within the moment. There is no escaping that fact. Self-actualization as the merging of individual and system, as a single self, intertwines our creations with our spirituality. We embrace the fact that how we choose to organize ourselves governs the relationship between individual and other. Our recognition of the individual as embodied infinity develops a clear pathway toward unleashing our latent potential by ensuring each access and agency within the world. Bringing this vision to life requires that we develop an expansive set of systemic protections and rights by reframing legal, political, and economic order in alignment with the single truth. To the uninitiated, it may seem drastic, but our present arrangements offer no alternative to the crisis. They are designed to preserve, protect, and proliferate the current hierarchical order of exclusion. The same forces that have driven us to crisis are presently doing their best to ensure the majority will not escape it. Our divinity as creators will be reflected in the choices we make now, in this moment and in moments beyond. We choose a unifying vision rooted in our individual and shared greatness, one that empowers each to contribute meaningfully in the direction of their choice. We develop higher floors for humanity to stand upon and consistently question if they are enough. Doing so will require a radical reimagining of the possible that prioritizes humanity over our creations.